Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 2044, 2044. I'm Mike Matthews talking at an extremely heightened way.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I'm gonna tone it down a little bit as I'm singing this song. And have you listened for long? Maybe you are a first-time listener to Mike's Daily Podcast. I've been doing it a long, long time. I know that's like really awesome. What rhymes with last?
Mike's
Cast.
Daily Podcast.
Rat, cast, bast, sassed. Sassed. Oh, I should have done something with
Mike's
sassed.
Daily
Because everyone sasses
Podcast.
these days. Everyone's snarky these days and sasses. What the heck happened there? It's Mike Matthews. Well, we have today one of those days it's a Memorial Day weekend is what it is. But is it much of a weekend? I've got so much work to do. And I'm podcasting with you now. And the last podcast, I had the wrong amount of years ago that picture had been taken. It was 9 years ago, not 8. And 9 years ago, I started the podcast actually 10 years ago. Over 10 years ago. Gosh, it's been so... Why am I podcasting? Oh yeah, it's because we got stuff to get to. Important stuff, interesting stuff. Stuff that will be beneficial for your brain and your knowledge and your looking at things. For example, did you know that depression... I went straight to depression at the beginning of my show. Dang it. Did you know that depression is not something that can be cured overnight and is something that not just like men get it? You heard about postpartum depression and all that women get, but men get it too. I don't know if they get the postpartum depression, but they get depression. So if you have depression...
And here's today's podcast picture.
Listen to this podcast. No, I don't know if that's going to help. But, see a professional. Hey, the podcast picture today is of myself saying, hey, I've been podcasting for over 10 years, dang it. Let me hear your congratulations. You can call me now. 336MM Daily. That's the congratulations line. 3 + 3 = 6. MM is in Mike Matthews. Daily is in what this podcast has been now for a couple days. Sometimes I get interrupted. It's true. And there are so many places. Basil. Yes, that's right, Basil. This podcast has been on, and you've been on just about every single one of them. That's right, you have. Because you have a lot to say. You have the bark cast going on. And Basil's doing well. We have been putting mackerel, chopped up mackerel in his dog food lately. And there he is almost at 12 years old. And I think that might be helping him. It has the good omega fats in it. And that's why I get mackerel. I've been ordering it online. Thank you, Amazon, for letting me get mackerel. They sell a lot of mackerel for some reason. Because people saw that it is like the highest thing with omega fatty 3 acids, and everybody over their 50s that's trying to keep good heart health, they need those fatty omega 3 acids to help them. So mackerel's good, sardines are good, flaxseed oil's good. Hey, those are the first ones that pop to my brain in there. But it is a Saturday today. I don't know. I don't know what I am today. I am happy, perplexed. Trump is happy. He's playing golf for the first time since the coronavirus pandemic. What is this here? Chinese restaurant syndrome. Apparently, the entry, Merriam-Webster has updated the entry on Chinese restaurant syndrome, a term many Asian Americans saw as antiquated and even racist. The phrase was previously defined as a legitimate illness brought on by food seasoned with monosodium glutamate, MSG, but quote, especially Chinese food. Merriam-Webster.com said symptoms included numbness of the neck, arms, and back, as well as headaches and dizziness. Now the definition has a detailed disclaimer noting the terms as dated and offensive. It also states research conducted since the so-called syndrome was reported in the 60s has not found any link between MSG and those symptoms. Things get revised, my friend. Things change. The world changes. I am telling you now that I binged watched a little bit of Psych last night. Psych, the show that supposedly takes place in Santa Barbara, but in fact was filmed in Canada. Features all these guest stars that you recognize from 80s movies like Ralph Macchio. He's in there, of course, from Karate Kid. You've got basically every cast member from The Breakfast Club shows up on that. Carrie Elways from The Princess Bride shows up in it. Kurt Smith from Tears for Fears sings Everybody Wants to Rule the World and looks all bummed out and looks like he hates singing it. This is why I'm glad I never became a pop singer or became famous for being a pop artist, even though there was a time when I was really into singing and songwriting. And in fact, in downtown Ventura, there was a place called Full of Beans right there on Seaward by the Sea. And I would play there. Ray, the bald guy Ray, this is before I was bald, he would let me play there. And actually met the woman that I ended up marrying and getting divorced from there. And in fact, when I proposed to her, I sang for her there. I think after I proposed to her, I didn't propose to her there, but I sang to her as we go outside a cafe. Anyway, we were bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley Ton today. I sang there because I want, whenever you people say, oh, this is how I proposed to so-and-so, they always have cool stories, and I wanted something kind of cool. So she appreciated that. I sang some of the songs that inspired me. But then, all of a sudden, somewhere in, I'd say around 10 years ago, I stopped writing songs. I wrote a couple of them. Well, let's see. Yeah, probably 2012 was probably the last song I wrote. And I just can't do it anymore. So I'm glad that I didn't become a pop artist, because that well would have run dry. What would I have been making money on? Plus, if you're a pop singer, you're in the camera all the time. The public eye is what I'm trying to say, all the time. And you're aging. And people see you age and go, oh my gosh, look how old so-and-so got. And nowadays, like that podcast picture I got there, some of you remember me when I was younger and had hair and had a goatee. Some of you remember that, but a lot of you, you're checking out this podcast for the first time. You don't know what I used to look like. Yes, I used to look younger, but you don't go, oh, Mike has gotten old. Well, that's tough when you age in the public eye. So part of me is glad I did not get popular on the MTV years ago, writing songs, singing. I don't think I ever made a concerted effort to try and do that anyway. Cafe anyway. No, I've been in the radio world where we've been hidden. I have the face for radio. And so I've kept that face away from the public eye. But everybody's getting into the video thing. My lovely lady friend's getting into the video thing. She is an expert in the psychology world, and she's lending her hand to that. And I'm noticing a lot of people getting into the videography world, because it is so easy to videotape yourself. It's so easy to turn a camera on. There's cameras in everything. The thing is, and I don't understand this, even celebrities that should know better, that are around cameras and lights all day, they don't light themselves very well when they're doing the broadcast from home. You got the Good Morning America checking in with Katy Perry, and the video that Katy was giving, the camera feed she was giving, she was like in the dark. You couldn't even see her face. Is it like you're hiding, Katy? Are you hiding from the world? And she's talking all about how her latest song is about coming out of the tunnel, coming out of the darkness into the light. And there's no light on her. It's like, you know, if you're a performer, you got to have proper lighting. But I think you see when a lot of people are turning on the camera from their own home studio or their home office or home living room, whatever, this is how they really live. This is how they see themselves. And they do their own makeup and setup, and you're seeing them for what they really are. And maybe that's what we needed in this society. For a while, and this used to really irk me, in the 90s and the O's, and even just 5 years ago, even just a year ago, we were getting so, filtered. Everything was getting filtered. All the camera you get these old people on TV, people that, it's good to be old. You've gotten to a good age, a good ripe old age, good for you. I hope to do so the same. Probably most of you do. And they would put this filter on that was so fake. It's like, why am I looking at you? Remember the old joke about Moonlight? Was it Moonlight? What was the show? Moonlighting, right? With Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis. They used to say, why is Sybil Shepherd, every camera shot of her looks like it was done through a smudged lens? And the joke was, because she doesn't want you to see her wrinkles. We want to see your wrinkles, Sybil. In fact, she's done some stuff lately where she doesn't care anymore. Good for her. She's been on some sitcoms and stuff. My point is, and I had to tell my lovely lady friend this yesterday because she hasn't ever done a video before. I'm like, be yourself. She goes, I'm going to put some makeup on. All right, whatever. But be yourself. And that's what's important, because you can only be you. You be you. Don't try to be someone. So, that expression, fake it till you make it, that annoys me. Be yourself, and then you'll make it. Or you won't. And if you don't, then you'll be like me and happy you weren't popular and people didn't see you age. But that's it's all about the face, isn't it? Putting a face on yourself, showing your face to the world, even though we have face masks on. It's interesting. This whole video thing just fascinates me because so many people are doing it and so many people are podcasting. And I was talking about on the last podcast how back when I first got started podcasting that I was saying everybody needs to podcast, but I had to put it out there today. I have been podcasting for over 10 years. And I think I started early 2009, late 2008. And I've been in radio for well over 30 years. Started in 86 when I got out of high school. I was very interested in it. And I still remain in radio. And it has changed a lot. And a lot of people couldn't hack it. A lot of people didn't want to stay in it. It doesn't pay well. It has strange hours. But I'm interested. I still find it fascinating. And I love every radio station now has got to do some kind of podcast. And I have been podcasting for a long time. I've always been interested in it. So let's be unfiltered, folks. Let's be ourselves. What's the thing? Before I end this part of the show, what? Roughly half the Twitter accounts pushing to reopen America are bots. Really? Wow. Reopening America being pushed by bots. Well, I don't know if that's exactly true. Because I know a lot of people that want to get things back to normal again. Back to, let's see. There was this interesting New York daily coronavirus death toll drops below 100 for the first time in months, Governor Cuomo has said. Wow. It is going to start easing restrictions ahead of the Memorial Day holiday. We had so many restrictions put on us in the Bay Area, and it may have kept us from having the New York level coronavirus death toll. But now Cuomo is going to ease the restrictions. That's interesting. Our restrictions are easing a tad bit, but you can still feel it, although the traffic on the freeways and the roads in the Bay Area have increased dramatically. You can really see it. Hey, let's say hi out to some people here at Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcaster Valleyton, the last place on earth.
Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, gift shop supervisor. I'm not giving away any more face masks.
You're not?
No, Mike Matthews.
You know, I've been using a little bandana around my face instead of using a face mask. I like it better because, well, first off, they said bandanas were okay, scarves were okay to use for your face. And I can like easily push it down and it still looks cool. I look like I'm like I should be in a Western or something. It's kind of cool to have a bandana around your neck. That's what I look like, the drummer from Queen. He's always had bandanas around his neck. So, my point is, when you put a face mask down around your neck, when you don't have it on your face, that looks weird to me. I don't like it.
Okay, Mike Matthews, thanks for sharing.
You're welcome. Look who else is here. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Yes, Mike, congratulations on being a podcaster for over 10 years. Thank you. And thank you for being yourself. You be you, yourself, unfiltered. And the rest of us will thank you because you've made this world interesting. Next show, it's going to be the wonderful Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. Thank you for listening. Tell me what you think about all this. Call me 336MM Daily. 3 + 3 = 6 MM as in Mike Matthews Daily, as in what this podcast will continue to try to be, as it has been for quite a few days now. And you can catch me tomorrow morning, Sunday mornings, from 9 a.m. to 9 to 5 Sundays, most Sundays anyway, on kkdv.com, or if you look at me up on radio.com, or look up kkdv on radio.com, you'll be able to hear my show. And you can also hear Mike's Daily Podcast now on radio.com. Just look me up at Mike Matthews. Mike Matthews will bring up the Mike's Daily Podcast, and you can listen to it there. But I'll catch you tomorrow morning there. Also, it's on 92.1 FM in the Contra Costa County area. Take it away, A-Frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.